Well, hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Wanted to come to you with a video because it's been a really long time since I've got to talk to all of you out in internet land, and I've missed you. It's been over 2 months. I don't think I've done a video since like the first week of school, which was like around the 20th of August, somewhere in there. And so, yeah, it's been a while. It's been about 2 months, and there's been a lot going on in the Ruttenberg family, and just what's going on at the house and with the library and everything. And as most of you know, if you follow the channel, my wife and I got a absolutely wonderful opportunity to go and buy her childhood home. And so this summer we put the money down and purchased it. And so that very first week of school, we started, matter of fact, the last video I showed, there was empty bookshelves behind me. And that was because we were in the process of moving out. We were boxing everything. And ever since then, that first week of school, about 2 months ago, we got everything moved that first weekend, or almost everything. I would say we probably moved about 90% of our stuff that first weekend. It was pretty impressive, and we did it in about 3 hours. I had a whole lot of teacher friends and fellow coaches who came and helped, and I cannot tell you how thankful I was that they were there. We had a couple of trailers going, and we just made trip after trip that Saturday morning, and we knocked it all out in about a maybe 3.5 hour time span. And it's just been absolutely awesome. But of course, like I said, that was the first week of school, that first Saturday, and the kids were coming back that next week. And so needless to say, we don't even have everything unboxed yet. I'm still putting books away. I'm not even close to having the books all put away. Matter of fact, the library our house is a good size house. And so there's 3 different levels, and I'm going to have a library area on all 3 levels of the house. And the problem is on the first level, where I probably will do a lot of the video shooting, and I guess I'll be doing some on all 3 levels, but we're going to paint in there. My wife wants, and I, especially me, I want to lighten up the paint so that when I'm reading, things kind of feel bright and airy instead of, it's got a little bit darker colored paint on the wall. And we want to change that out. And then we're going to go and purchase some new bookshelves for down here and just try to dress it up quite a bit. And so the book room is very messy. But the good news is, in this house, like I said, it's a decent sized house. So we got a lot of different places in this house where I can shoot videos, and this being one of them. This is in my, this is what we would call the sunroom. It's got windows going down both walls. And this is like my wife's room. She's going to have her stuff in here. This is kind of her getaway room. And she's got my comfy chair in here right now, so I am using it to video in. And let's see, what else? I'm trying to give you updates here on where we're at with everything. So I got all my books here, and when we get the bookshelves all purchased and put up, I should be able to display every single one of my books, which is absolutely awesome. Now, with that being said, that move was back-breaking. There were a lot of boxes of books, and you would think I wouldn't need any more. But over the last couple of months, just a couple of different times we've went out, and just to get away to help my sanity. Of course, the favorite thing I like to do is go buy some books. So I do have some books I'm going to show you here. Today I'm going to shoot 3, maybe 4 videos that I'm going to put up for the next week and a half, and kind of shoot those, get those out of the way. But I did get some new books. I got a lot of Agatha Christie stuff. I was pretty happy about that. I also got some Ken Follett, and so be looking forward to those. I'm also going to shoot my nonfiction November video. I'm going to shoot my fourth quarter TBR video for Historathon 2023. I have not done that yet, even though we're 2 weeks into the quarter. But yeah, I'm super excited to be back and being able to talk to you. So let's just get started, and we're going to do this video like it's like a Friday, except for I know it's Saturday, but like a Friday reads, and I might not even get this uploaded till Sunday. So anyway, a weekend reads. How about we call it that? And we're just going to talk about over the last week, 2 weeks, what have I been reading, that kind of stuff, because I haven't done that for a while. So let me just go ahead and get started with that. Now, many of you follow Peg and Martine over at the History Shelf, and they've been doing that year-long. Well, it's over a year now, I think, or is it a year now? Anyway, they've been reading Agatha Christie, Miss Marple mysteries, and so this last month I finished up. I think I finished this one up in September, at the very end of September, but I finished up Nemesis by Agatha Christie, and this was a really good book. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It's kind of funny because you hear people talk about some of these and they either really like them or they say, well, not her best, or and it's funny how all of us, we kind of have just different tastes and things, and I really enjoyed this. I think chronologically, like the publishing date, the further along we got, I think the more I liked the books. And then, of course, in this one, Miss Marple is the main character throughout the whole book. And so I really, really enjoyed that. I think they are reading theirs this month. I went ahead and just got it read. And then I think there's just one more Miss Marple book left, and I'll be digging. I have to dig it out of the boxes to find it, but I've got some other ones I'm going to get read first, so I'm not really worried about it. But anyway, got that read. Also, I finished just this last, it was a week ago, I guess, H.W. Brands' book, Our First Civil War, Patriots and Loyalists in the American Revolution. And I also, when I was finishing this up, this was also a third quarter Historathon 2023 book that I had read for the third quarter, obviously. Peg and I had been reading this. We did a buddy read on this, and we Voxer chatted back and forth. And Brands does a good job. It's a good read if you're not familiar with the era and the material. He uses a ton of primary sources, He relies pretty heavily on the primary sources, like big long blocked sections of stuff. And at first, I was kind of like, well, he's done that for the last few years when he's put his books out. He's been using, very heavy on those primary sources. But with this one, when I got towards the end, I started thinking, you know what? I think it really does work, because when you start talking Patriots and Loyalists and you start talking about the personal ideas of, do they want to be American or British, or that kind of stuff, I think it actually did work for this book. I questioned it at the beginning. It kind of annoyed me at the beginning. But the further I got into the book, especially towards the end, I started seeing maybe the genius of H.W. Brands' writing. He's such a good storyteller and knows how to use the primary sources to tell the story, where he can kind of just back out of the story and let them tell their own story. And I thought that was... There was a genius in that. Now, I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. With that being said, I think that's what I rated it. I'll have to go back to Goodreads and check. But the only reason was because of, it got a high rating, but it didn't get the perfect rating for the same reason of the big blocked sections of text. Peg and I, like I said, did a buddy read on this. I think we may be doing a video covering this in the future. I know she's been working away from home this last week, and so she's been, kind of in work world. I ended up finishing the book. I need to leave her, actually, Peg, if you're watching this, I got to get those last couple chapters, the video out for those. But yeah, I think we're going to be doing a buddy read, our book chat video for this, so be looking forward to that. All right, so what am I reading right now? Because those are my completed books, the last couple that I've completed. And I got a few others, but those are the two that I think were the latest finished reads. So what I'm reading right now, let's go back to Agatha Christie, because I've been doing a read through of all of her works. I had not read her up until, let's see, it would have been 2022. March Mystery Madness, I think, is when it was. And I read And Then There Were None, and that was my first Christie. And I kind of got hooked. And I've been reading at least one a month with Peg when they're doing their Miss Marple series. But I've also been reading a lot of the Hercule Poirot. And this is the one I've picked up this last time, The Murder of Roger Ackroy. And this is a nice HarperCollins edition. HarperCollins has a box set that I had bought, and you can get, you get all these books in there. These are what they consider maybe the most famous of them. Let's see. They had I can't find it now, but they said, these are the world's favorite Christie books, and this was in that set. And I'm really enjoying this as well. You follow along with a doctor, and he, one of the guys in town, Roger Ackroyd, is murdered, and they're trying to figure out who the murderer is. And Poirot was living in the area, kind of incognito, and ends up coming in to help solve the murder. I'm about 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way through it. I'm pretty far into it. If I wanted to sit down for one morning, and depending on tomorrow morning, I may even do that tomorrow morning and finish this. But really good book, murder mystery. Him and his sister's kind of a nosy gal in that. She's kind of funny. So another one that I've been picking through that I'm probably going to really get into pretty heavy once I finish that Christie book is Seth Augustine's book Llama with a Gun. And this is a advanced reader copy that he had sent me, and this comes out, I believe it was this month this one comes out. And I do apologize, Seth, for not giving this a little bit more publicity. I have been just absolutely swamped in everything that I've been doing, from moving to taking care of the old house, trying to get it sold, and football and school, and now I'm like hot and heavy trying to grade papers. I'm taking a break right now to make these videos, but I feel like I'm chasing my tail. I feel like a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. I can't, I don't know. I'm busy. But I'm on chapter 7 in this book, and this has been pretty interesting. The monk, the kid has went into the monastery to learn how to be a monk, and he's living in Mongolia, China area, and I'll have to come back and tell you more about it. I haven't gotten too far into the book. Like I said, I'm just kind of got going on it, but I'm going to hit this one pretty heavy when I get done with Agatha Christie. But that's been good so far. Go check out that book. Like I said, it comes out this month. Go check out Llama with a Gun. Now, another one I've been reading that I should be finishing possibly this week. There's just 2 chapters left. But the problem is these chapters are like monster chapters. They're anywhere from 50 to 75 pages or so for each chapter. And it's David McCullough's John Adams. Now, this is an absolutely, positively awesome book, people. If you have not read this, you need to go pick it up. Remember, this is from the late David McCullough. He passed away, and I had decided I had most of his books on my shelves. I have almost all of them. And I wanted to do a read-through of all the books. I've read a few of his. I haven't read them all. I bought them in anticipation of reading them, and I just didn't get to it. But so as I was talking about that, I was talking with my good friend Patrice Jones, and as we were talking, she actually got to meet him at a book signing, and she said, I've had that book on my shelf, and we had just got done reading Stacy Schiff's, earlier in the year, Stacy Schiff's Sam Adams, and we were like, man, I want to read something on John Adams. And so we said, well, let's do this because, he had just passed away, and it's kind of a way to honor a great author. And we have been thoroughly enjoying this book, John Adams. We've both learned quite a bit, and McCullough he's just a fabulous storyteller. There's no other way of putting it. And I have noticed that where a lot of authors, a lot of historians will hammer on John Adams, they recognize his genius, but he was also kind of rough around the edges at times. With some people would call him a stick in the mud, stuff like that. McAuliffe, I get the feeling, really, really liked John Adams. He goes easy on John Adams, is what it seems like. You can tell through his writing that he has a natural affinity for John Adams. But anyway, I just finished up chapter 10. So he just got out of the presidency. Thomas Jefferson has defeated him in the presidential election of 1800, and he's now going back home. He's going to, going to retirement. And, he's one of the last original founding fathers. There's not very many of them left. They're starting to die left and right. In the book, we've had Ben Franklin die. We just had George Washington just died. And, you just get some of those founders are starting to pass away, and Adams is one of the last original, the top tier founders. And I do feel kind of my overall thought is that John Adams maybe did not get the limelight he deserved. And I don't know if that is just from reading McAuliffe's version of this because he likes Adams so much, but I do feel that John Adams really didn't get his day in the sun like he probably should have. And that's my take on that so far. But like I said, I just have 2 chapters left. I should be finishing it this week. It's like 80 or 90 pages left, and so I should be finishing that this week. So as soon as I am done with that, I am going to pick back up a book that I am halfway through that I had started a while back, and that is General George Washington, A Military Life by Edward Lengel. Now, this is exactly what it says. It's a military biography on Washington. Very interesting. Lengel's a very, very good writer. The book, it flows really, really well. The only issue I have with the book, I want you to look at this font. Can you see that? That font is a little bit hard to read. I've had, it bothers my eyes. I have to make sure I have my glasses on when I'm reading this one. I can't be lazy and not get up and go get my glasses because it's just something about that font. Whereas if you look at the font of this book, it's a little easier. It's a little easier on the eyes. So that's about the only complaint I have, and I know that has nothing to do with the writing, but just the reading itself. But I've enjoyed this. I'll talk with you about what I've learned here. I'll have to go back and look through my notes because, like I said, I took a break in it to get my buddy Reed done. But I'm going to go back and read this, finish this up. This is actually from my project I was doing to clean up my TBR list. This is one of the original books that I had on my TBR list. I think it was my very first, my 2020 TBR list. It was either 2020 or 2021 TBR list. And, my original one that I put together for BookTube, like my very first video ever. And I hadn't read it yet. And so I'm finally getting that knocked out, and I can take that off my TBR list, and I can just scratch it off the list and feel good about that. And then another one that I am going to come back to that I was dipping in and out of, I was probably doing this. I tried to do it every weekend, read one short story. And then I ended up putting it by the side when I was reading these other books. But I'm going to get back to that. And it's the original illustrated Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. And I know many of you absolutely love his stories. And I had never read them before. I am going through these for the very first time. I am 136 pages into a 636-page book. So I got 500 pages to go. But this is not something I'll read like cover to cover. I'll do one story every week or something, maybe a couple every week. But I have thoroughly enjoyed this. You guys out there that suggested I read it, you were absolutely right. I have liked this, and it's very interesting. So anyway, that is what I'm reading right now. Let's see, what other updates can I give you? We are going into our last week of middle school football, and we got to go to play one of the mega giants of 8-man football, and our record is, what are we? We are 4-2. Yeah, we're 4-2 right now. And we'll be going into our last ball game. It's going to be a tough ball game, but hopefully the boys will all play well and show up mentally and physically and put everything in that needs to be in. Maybe make a ball game out of it. And I'm pretty excited about that. It is going to be a tough one, but that's okay. You don't want easy games all the time. Our high school squad's undefeated, and last time I checked, they were number 2 in the state in 8-man football here in Iowa, and we have had a tremendous season. And last night at our game, it was like misting and stuff, and I went out to the ball game. We were supposed to go out there. My youngest daughter, they did a cheer camp, and they were supposed to go cheer last night, but she ended up throwing up at cheer camp, so we had to stay home, or my wife stayed home with her, and I ended up only going to about the first quarter of the football game, but that was all it took. We played an opponent that was supposed to be a decent opponent, and we ended up beating them 63-0, and pretty impressive. And we had, how many points on the board? Did we have 36 points in the first quarter, I think? Something like that, or maybe a minute into the second quarter, we had 36. And then we scored again by the time I got home, because you can hear it because it kind of echoes through town. And we had scored again by the time I got home. And so the boys did really, really well last night, put an exclamation mark on it. And then this week we head into the state playoffs. And yeah, it'll be a fun, I think it's going to be a fun time. Hopefully everybody, stays healthy and everything goes well. But yeah, that's what's going on the sports scene. And then in my classroom, we have been studying World War I with my 7th grade. And on Wednesday, I get to take the kids to the World War I Museum. And I know some of you that are in Historathon 2023, you've asked for picture requests, and I will hopefully remember to do that. Take some pictures while I'm at the museum and upload those to the Discord and let everybody see those. But yeah, BookTube, sorry about the long time of not making a video. But anyway, here I am, I'm back. And I just want to say thank you for watching. And if you made it this far, a special thank you. And yeah, just can't wait to see you again. I'm going to make another video here and have that ready for this week. So until next time, BookTube, happy reading.